Washington is on edge. The Air Force braces for a sudden shakeup. The FBI expands its power at the top, and the White House blurs the line between politics and policing. This is VERTEX, and we uncover a moment of turmoil across America's institutions. The United States Air Force is preparing for an unexpected leadership change. On August 18th, General David Ulvin, the service's Chief of Staff, announced that he plans to retire later this year, stepping down after only 2 years in the role. His decision came as a surprise, since Air Force Chiefs of Staff typically serve 4-year terms. In a statement, Ulvin said he was grateful for the opportunity to serve as the 23rd Air Force Chief of Staff. He expressed his thanks to Air Force Secretary Melissa Mink, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and President Donald Trump for what he described as their trust and confidence in his leadership. He added that his retirement is scheduled for on or about November 1st.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve as the 23rd Air Force Chief of Staff, and I'm thankful for Secretary Mink, Secretary Hegseth, and President Trump's faith in me to lead our service.
The reasons behind Ulvin's early departure remain unclear. Pentagon officials have not confirmed whether he chose to retire voluntarily or was asked to step aside. The Office of the Secretary of Defense did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The announcement comes amid broader turnover in the military's top ranks. Since taking office in January, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has dismissed several senior leaders, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the head of the US Navy, and the Judge Advocates General for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. For now, the Air Force faces a transition at a critical moment, as its leadership team prepares to chart the service's future without one of its most senior voices at the helm. The White House has taken an unusual step in its campaign against crime in Washington, D.C. Social media teams have been embedded alongside FBI agents as they execute arrest warrants, producing videos later shared on the president's official account. 2 people familiar with the arrangement said the practice has been used in recent days, raising concerns about the intersection of politics and law enforcement. Legal experts say the decision departs from long-standing Justice Department norms that seek to shield investigations from political influence. They warn that such publicity could complicate prosecutions and raise constitutional questions about privacy. The White House defended the effort. An official said the administration considered these videos part of what it called its hugely successful crime reduction strategy in the Capitol, adding that as the most transparent administration in history, it would continue sharing such footage with the public.
This is not a standard law enforcement posture because this is action directed by the president deeming what is necessary and appropriate under the law. Of course, the White House is involved in highlighting our hugely successful efforts to stop violent crime in Washington, D.C. As the most transparent administration in history, we will continue sharing these efforts with the press and the American people.
The promotional push included a video documenting the arrest of Sean Charles Dunn, a former Justice Department employee charged with assault. In the clip, armed agents are seen entering his apartment and taking him into custody. Defense attorney Bradley Moss argued that the presence of media crews was less about transparency and more about shaping perception, saying they acted as political influencers documenting events to favor an agenda rather than law and order. He said that these are political media influencers who are there for a sole purpose, which is to document things in a light most favorable to a political agenda. It has nothing to do with law and order. Bennett Gershman, a former New York prosecutor and law professor, described the tactic as crossing constitutional and ethical lines, citing a 1999 Supreme Court ruling that barred outside media from joining law enforcement inside private homes. He called it an outrageous tactic for promotional purposes that goes beyond acceptable police conduct. the Federal Bureau of Investigation is adding a new senior leader to its ranks. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey has been appointed as co-deputy director of the FBI, according to officials. He will serve alongside Deputy Director Dan Bongino under Attorney General Pam Bondi and Director Kash Patel. Bailey, a decorated veteran and former state attorney general, is being brought in as part of the Bureau's leadership expansion. Bondi said she was thrilled to welcome him to the FBI, citing his record as a state attorney general and his military background. She described his leadership and commitment to service as a valuable addition to advancing President Trump's mission.
I am thrilled to welcome Andrew Bailey as co-deputy director of the FBI. He has served as a distinguished state attorney general and is a decorated war veteran, bringing expertise and dedication to service. His leadership and commitment to country will be a tremendous asset as we work together to advance President Trump's mission.
Director Patel echoed that sentiment, saying the Bureau must continue to bring the greatest talent to carry out the goals set by the administration. He called Bailey an integral part of what he described as the continued fight to save America. During his time as Missouri's Attorney General, Bailey launched an anti-human trafficking task force, cleared a backlog of sexual assault forensic evidence kits, and reported a significant increase in criminal prosecutions. He also defended local law enforcement in litigation and pursued accountability for public officials accused of misconduct. Bailey expressed gratitude for the appointment, calling it a privilege to serve as co-deputy director. The FBI under Patel's leadership reports nearly 19,000 arrests this year, including significant gains in counterterrorism cases, human trafficking prosecutions, and drug seizures. The appointment marks a high-profile addition to the FBI's leadership team at a time of expanding federal operations.